this game ends up going the distance here. Simply the incoming. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Overgrowth for this best of 3, where we have, spawning in the top right-hand corner, a very exciting player hailing from Korea, playing for Root Gaming. It is Hydra. His opponent, spawning in the bottom left-hand side of Overgrowth. He is the Red Terran player, extremely accomplished, very successful and experienced player. Hailing from Mexico, we have Major, playing as Livy B Boost. That actually has a certain ring to it. I like that name. It's almost like a machine. Livy B Boost. Just knock off the ST and you just got a series of beeps. It's a cool name. I can live with that. So we got the hatch going down first from Hydra. Not really going to see too much out of the ordinary in this early game here. But interestingly, we have the command center first on the low ground coming down here from Major. So very, very ballsy move from him there. He ain't afraid at all. And this Overlord from Hydra is going to be able to spot it. So, I don't know. He's moving... Actually, no, it's going to take him a little while longer to spot because he's actually moving kind of borderline into the main base first. I think, on his current trajectory, he will borderline miss this unless he decides to turn further south. In fact, I'm pretty sure he is just going to miss it. So we'll see if he ends up turning. You guys can see on the minimap he has actually moved towards the left a little bit there. In the meantime, the gas following up, we've got the spawning pool coming in, so just wanting to get a little bit of an early speed there so he can just exercise as much of his early game map control as possible. And okay, yeah, he's moving down to the south so that he's able to see whether or not a command center has been put down, and he can actually see it. So Hydra knows from the timing, of course, of that command center exactly what's going on here. You can't have that down so early and still have gotten all sorts of other stuff as well. So he knows it's a CC first. Major, in the meantime, at the moment, looks like he's gotten away with it. An SCV is going to be popping in just to check out what the situation is going to be like inside the main base. Does spot that an amount of gas has already been mined, and will now see the shimmer from this spawning pool that indicates Zergling's speed is on the way as well. So, no major surprises at all. And our Terran player will be able to spot exactly what's going on. Ooh, actually moving in for a second scout and losing a lot of health on the SCV there. I'm not really sure what he was looking for. Perhaps just double checking to make sure there wasn't an earlier gas being taken at the natural expansion, and there wasn't. This SCV, unfortunately, as we are about to see, is in fact going to lose its life. Zergling's ever so slightly faster, and that means bleh, unfortunately. And these two Marines are not going to be able to save him. We'll be able to get a Zergling in revenge, one, and the second one is at about half health. This bunker is already down, so there'll be no opportunity for Hydra, at least in the short term, to scout by ground into the base here. And Hydra now back at home, he's just doing nothing but droning non-stop. He knows that after the command center first, it could be a little while until we get any sort of major aggression coming out of his opponent, so he's not too concerned about that, and as a result he just wants to make sure his worker count is as high as possible. And right now he's doing a decent job. He's at 36 workers to 24 right now, and even with double mules, that's a nice position for a Zerg to be in. He's also taking his third hatchery as well. And then the rest of this game, at least for the next couple of minutes, is going to be about whether Major wants to be able to apply any sort of pressure against this third base location. He's not really going to get units there realistically fast enough to try and get a cancel or anything like that, but he might be able to attempt to pop by later on, roast a couple of drones, see if he can't get sort of micro bits and pieces of damage here. To just try and squeeze ahead an economy. If he's able to do that while taking a third base of his own, as you can see the command center here, then he's going to be in great shape, perhaps also to gear up for some later game, maybe even Hellbat play. We have got those double Hellions being produced now, and we have a Banshee coming up from him as well. He's taken both of his gases inside his main base. These Hellions have been spotted as well. There are a decent number of Queens spreading creep out into the middle of the map. I like it already at this point on the ramp, wanting to make sure he gets to this watchtower ASAP. It's only the 7-minute mark in this game as well, so I really do appreciate that. And rather than go for any sort of elaborate wall, Hydra's actually just going to say, right, I have some lings here, but really I have this spine crawler. So moving past here means you are already committing to taking a certain amount of damage on your units. If you're willing to do that, fine. I'll try and use my units to mop up once you get in here. There's no sort of panic wall here at all. That might be information Major wants to use to his advantage later on in the game, though. He might consider a move into some sort of aggression, knowing that his opponent doesn't really have that choke point available to sort of hide his queens around or something like that. But of course, open positions can be very beneficial for Zerg players as well. So it does work both ways there. And Overseer is going to spot everything that's going on inside the main base. And in the meantime, we have the Banshee moving into the main now. So let's go ahead and check out how much damage really can this get done. Of course, the Overseer has spotted it. Is he going to try and just take out a Queen? That could actually work. Is there a second one on the way? There is. But this Queen's going down. And we've got 2 workers so far. Has to be careful. This Banshee's very close to dying. And if he gets this Banshee, he's going to be very, very happy indeed as our Zerg player. And, oh, he's going to just... No, he manages to get it. Oh, right. So, very well done by that second Queen there from Hydra. So he loses a couple of workers and a Queen, but manages to take that Banshee down. Now, I don't believe Cloak was researched. No, indeed it was not. He's actually got a reactor on that already. So he's transitioning into heavy, heavy bio play. More barracks on the way. He's going up to 5 now. We have a missile turret sort of in the middle. A couple of missile turrets in the middle of this as well, interestingly. Possibly to deny scouts, and also just later on he wants to stop the camping of any production structures by Mutalisk should that kind of a transition occur. We have double Evo chamber now completing and a Baneling nest as well. And that would be the reason why, of course, he has spotted the Spire. The 4th base is going down now for Hydra as well. And look at this creep spread. He's now beyond the first watchtower, doing a really, really good job. The Mutas are coming in. They're trying to do a bit of harassment. The missile turrets, though, are actually there, and this is exactly why they're there. Yes, okay, you're able to pick up the odd unit, but he cannot camp out these production structures. And as long as there are Marines here, the Mutas won't really be able to get any purchase in. But at the same time, though, guys, don't forget, Hydra's not actually trying to get that much purchase in here. All he wants to do is keep Major at home so that he can go ahead and secure his 4th base nice and easy. And oh, dearie me, this is not the kind of position he wants to find himself in. Losing 3 SCVs as well, pretty much instantly at the 3rd base. And these Mutas, I bet you they're just going to be sitting around here trying their best to pick apart the odd SCV. Oh, as he's going to get 1 mule. He won't be able to get the second one. He'll get the SCV building the bunker as well. Yes, he does. Really, really well played here from Hydra in game number 1. And this 4th is going to go down completely uncontested. There's no drop from Major coming in here. Major, I feel like he needs to try and be in a position where he's a bit more aggressive. But he's also just being tested defensively right now. Hydra's doing a really, really good job of microing his individual units. Because look at that, he's had the Mutas flying around, and in the meantime, guys, the creep spread is nearly at the gold base of Major. We're at the 12-minute mark of this game. Hydra is so sick good. And Major, I mean, he has plenty of opportunities to potentially win this game, but so far, but I have to say, just really, really massive job well done at the moment to get into a very comfortable position by Hydra here. And Major's challenge from this point is going to be, well, how can I try and rescind this creep and do enough damage that I can sort of force my opponent into a bad engagement or a bad position. And right now, he's being forced to consistently come back home thanks to this small pack of Mutas. And in the meantime, more Zerglings and more Banelings and more upgrades are simply being produced non-stop by Hydra, so it feels like he's just rocking it up ASAP to a 200 supply army. And look at this. He's completely undisturbed at this 4th base. We have a Spine Crawler and a Spore Crawler being made because, I guess I better do some defense at some point soon. Fine. But, Major, if we take a look at his vision, he's more or less stuck on his own 3 bases right now. The rest of the map almost completely belongs to Hydra, and that's impressive. Hydra does get supply blocked a little bit, thanks to this Viking actually doing a bit of damage. And there is a drop. There was a drop. Major just hasn't been able to get any damage done, sideways or otherwise, in this game so far. I love how he's pushing out with small groups of units to kill off a lot of creep there. That's a lot of creep tumors he actually denied there, and very smartly retreating now as well. Doesn't just want to lose these Marines and medevacs. But here comes the huge attack. It's 184 supply and counting here from Hydra, moving into the natural. Oh my good God! That was an explosion and a half there, and wow, so many of those Zerglings died instantaneously. Ooh, that must have hurt for Hydra. Resources lost. He probably just jumped 1,000 right there, but ooh, man, I'm gonna want to see an instant replay of that a little bit later on in this game. That was not tasty for a Zerg player. Excellently done there from Major. I believe he's, I want to say he's researched the quick Widowmine burrow as well, but I can't be 100% certain of that. One thing is for sure, he got a lot of fantastic purchase there. That was basically GIF worthy. Damn. The problem he has, though, is Hydra still owns most of the map, still has 4 bases, and has the potential to take a 5th pretty soon. I mean, this gold is beginning to look increasingly takeable, and he does still have a lead in supply. Both sides have 1-1 as well, so Major doesn't have an upgrade advantage at the moment, and these Marines looking like they're going to get surrounded in the middle of the map. He's moving in now once again towards a natural expansion. A whole bunch of Widowmines. The hits are nowhere near as good as last time, and here come the Banelings. They're rolling in. The Mutalists trying to flood this army out from the skies. More and more units deciding to pop in now, and what is the arm supply looking like? Major down to 110 supply. These Mutas are absolutely wreaking havoc inside the main base. Can he survive this? He's now camped on top of the production structures. GG! And Roots Hydra takes game number 1 over Major in this quarterfinal of the Gfinity £100 Cup.